Okay.
So people just joining us, if you could mute your microphone, please. There's a lot of background noise. Thank you.
We'll wait another minute or so, and then we're going to go ahead and get started.
Video, are you ready?
My teaching team, did it show that I am successfully recording?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Those new to the room, could you please mute your microphones? Thank you.
What's up? I'm gonna stop video.
Okay, we have we have all teachers for the virtual academy here tonight, and this is going to be the asynchronous approach. It's the virtual academy that you have signed up for, that if you've heard regarding the Fuel platform. And so welcome to kind of our new format in this academy. As I already said, we are recording the meeting, and we are going to go ahead and get started. The first thing, hopefully, I would like you to do is there is a chat box on Zoom. And if you are not familiar with the chat box, it should be on the bottom of your screen. If you would place any questions in the chat, what we will do is answer them at the end tonight. And again, if you would keep your microphones muted, we have a good bit of information to go over. Hopefully it's going to answer a lot of your questions. And then at the end, we will read the questions that have been asked, and we will answer them for you. I think the most exciting part, and we knew the children, many of the children are with us tonight, and we can't wait to see them and begin to meet them. We have 5 teachers who will be working in our virtual academy, and they are going to take a little bit of time to introduce themselves. We'll start with Ms. Andrews.
Thank you. I'm Linda Andrews, and I normally teach at my home school, which is Spring Creek Elementary. We'd only been in there 1 year before this hit, so we didn't even get a full year under our belt in our new school. I have taught 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade in our school district. And I have to just say one little tiny thing, which is I was watching people coming in, and there is a family here who's one of the parents I had my 2nd or 3rd year teaching. So Katie Robinson Wilbur, I remember those years.
Ms. Brigman?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Becky Brigman, and I'm so excited to be able to teach virtually with you all this year. So my plan is to teach K1, and that's a great fit for me. I've been in 1st grade at Park Forest for 6 years, I think, and I've taught before that. So I have lots of experience, and I love the little ones, and this computer learning is a new thing, but I'm so excited to get started with you all. Thank you.
Ms. Fedorko.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bethany Fedorko, and I will be teaching in the virtual school 1st and 2nd grade. Normally, I teach at 2nd grade at Spring Creek, and I've also taught 1st and 3rd grades here in the district. I'm really excited to work with my brand new students, and this is going to be a new adventure because you're truly digital citizens now here in 2020. It's going to be a great year.
Thank you. How about Ms. Grube? Did we lose Ms. Grube?
We might have
Hi,
lost Ms.
There
we go.
I'm sorry. I'm Jennifer Grube. I've taught 5th grade for about 15 years here in State College, but I've been with the district for about 23. I've taught 3rd grade, and I worked with computer services for a spell as well. My home school is Ferguson Township, but I've also worked at Radio Park. And I'll be teaching 5th grade here in VA, as well as some 4th grade students. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also really excited to learn how to do cyber school. This is really a great adventure for me, and I'm so happy to be on it with you. So welcome.
And our final teacher is Ms. Henderson.
Hello, my name is Laura Henderson. I am normally a teacher at Coral Street Elementary, and I will be teaching 2nd and 3rd grade this year. This is my 10th year of teaching, and I've taught 6 years in State College School District and then 4 down in Fairfax County. So I'm just super excited to get to teach in this environment and get to know everybody and a whole new group of students this year.
Ms. Yoder, can I just interrupt? I got so excited seeing Katie Robinson in there that I forgot to say that I will be teaching the a third, 4th grade group this year. So I am excited about that, and just got too excited seeing one of my former students.
Perfectly understood. I will have our curriculum coordinator, Ms. Deirdre Bauer. She will really be overseeing the curriculum, but I'd like you to kind of see her face, and she's just going to give a quick hi as well.
Greetings, everybody. We're really excited to start this virtual academy journey with you. I'm Deirdre Bauer, and I'm the elementary curriculum director, and I'm also filling in right now as the principal at Radio Park. So it's good to see all of you, and I'm excited to see the virtual academy roll out. I don't do anything as far as creating the curriculum or directing it in any way, but just want to be a support to the VA team here. Thank you.
And I did share, my name is Danielle Yoder. I am also the principal at Easterly Parkway Elementary School, so I do see some familiar faces. I will be taking the lead as administrator of the Virtual Academy too. So I'm excited for this new adventure to learn about an asynchronous learning model and see what it's about. So you might be seeing me some throughout the year. And if you have questions, which many of you have reached out, I will certainly get back to you. I will tell you right now, we have a lot of emails in our inbox every day, and I typically can answer within 24 hours, and it's taken me a little bit longer. I am working very closely with an IT coach from the high school. Her name is Jen Scudder, and she is helping us with registration, and she will have her contact information on here a little later. But we are going to go ahead and review some of the content about the Fuel K-12 Cyber Academy, and hopefully this will answer some of your questions. And ladies, did I skip a screen? If I skipped one, let me know. I'm going to jump into this one. I didn't think it was my first slide though.
You skipped the technical difficulties. Go back one, Danielle.
Yeah, so okay, give me a second, guys, and sorry about that. And let me put this back in.
I'm going through it with the slides you gave me. So
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
okay.
All right. So the first thing, and for most important for me, because I assure you, I feel like I'm normally a very organized person and that can stay on top of things. And I have heard from many of you that you have not received the registration from K-12. So I worked with Ms. Bauer today. I made a contact to the Fuel contact person to find out that it is on their end, that many of you are not receiving the emails, or some of you have received them in your student's email account. They have escalated our issue to their engineers. We are not, unfortunately, not the only school district that is dealing with that. So what we want you to know from the State College end, and our rep at Fuel assured us as well, you will have ample time to make up any missed content if you are not able to get registered by Wednesday, or if you don't have your materials. Our teachers are also going to monitor this so that if we need to make any changes to the curriculum or review it because you lost time that was not your fault, we will be working on that end. We're going to check things out on Friday, see how many people were able to get logged on. But please know that Fuel is working on that, and you still should be. They're hoping as soon as they get it fixed, an email will be pushed back out. It may be pushed out to all of you. If you've already registered, just ignore that email. There will be no required attendance this week. That does not mean if you have been successfully able to register and you've received your materials that you cannot, that you should just not work. But we are just saying that we are not requiring attendance, knowing that there are still some technical difficulties on the fuel end. Even though we'll be talking about the asynchronous model, and this is what's working, I know for many families that signed up, we will be monitoring attendance. We monitor it according to completion week to week. So again, we are not going to be looking at attendance this week, but in 2 weeks, we'll start to look at that and we'll be saying, are they completing what we've provided or what is considered a week's worth of work from the Virtual Academy? The nice thing about the Virtual Academy is assignments are given to you on Monday and you have until the following Sunday to complete that work. And you can fall behind a little bit. So, and we're not going to be too concerned, but we will be monitoring that week to week to make sure that you're really keeping up. We have found the teachers that have, that you introduced themselves earlier, have seen that there's some rigorous content in there. So it's not going to be, I'm going to put a few minutes here in and complete my work. There's really going to be a lot to it. So until you get organized with how much work you need to do and how much time each day it's going to take you, it's real important as learning coaches, which are the parents or parents if you are having somebody else do that, and we'll get into that, to really monitor your own progress and make sure you're keeping up. Some of you may want to work and try to do 2 days worth of work in one so that you have extra time on another day, and you're going to be able to do that. But again, the biggest thing is not to fall behind, and we will work with families if they begin to fall behind. The Fuel platform does show your progress. As you learn to navigate in that system, please be looking for your progress in all subjects because you want to stay up to date in all subjects that are required courses. Learning coaches, we've put when my team keeps writing Dear Learning Coaches, and a lot of times I put parents in because I know some of you have said you have other learning coaches, and then we've kept the learning coach in parentheses. You are really your child's first teacher. We have state college teachers that will be monitoring. Those ladies will be doing morning meetings down the road. They will be doing, possibly small groups to support you. But as a learning coach, you are really in charge of supporting your child's learning. And just keep in mind that this year is really, it's no longer, we're going to keep things moving and kind of maintain where you are as when COVID hit in March. This is new learning will take place. The great thing is our teachers who know the state college content, they've really taken a look at this and said, we really believe that by the end of the year, this program is going to keep you in line with the other state college children. So I do want you to know that. But if you look at this, and this was on our website from when we first viewed Fuel, kindergarten and first grade, really only 30% is online, and the other 70% is when that they are not in front of a computer and they are doing their work with their learning coaches, which is you, the parent, unless maybe a grandparent, but whoever that child is going to be with during their learning time. The grades 2 through 5 is more independent. They're going to be able to do a little bit more. You'll see grades 2, 3, and 4 is about 45% online and 55 offline. 5th grade, really independent, moving them into more of a middle level, but it still will take some support of their learning coaches. I have had some people reach out saying that the registration only came to one parent email and they would like the other parent to be a learning coach. I've had some people reach out and share that they actually have a friend that has offered to be the learning coach. So FERPA is Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, when I have that FERPA in capital. So if you as parents both want to be learning coaches, that's easy. You're going to, and notice I don't have that linked properly. If you would email Jen Scudder and say, I want my spouse to also be a learning coach, and she can do that as a parent. But if you have a non-legal guardian that is going to be the learning coach and you want them to have their own login, there are 2 forms. I will also be emailing these out to you in the near future, but I went ahead and linked them in. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. Does that show, teachers? Can you
Yes.
see? Okay, so this is a form that is linked in that talks about elementary learning coach access. Again, parents, this is for people who are non-legal guardians. If you have, as parents, you're doing this, you do not have to submit that. But I wanted to show that that is a form you would need to fill out. It's pretty easy. You hit next and it goes through it. But at the completion of that Google form is a learning coach request form. And this is so that legally State College is allowed to provide information to somebody else regarding your child. And it will ask you to complete this. You can either print it or you can do it, download it and use an Adobe to complete it and sign it. And then Jen Scudder would like you to upload that. If there are questions in the future on that, we will be able to help you with that. But they are 2 documents that you'll have to have if you want somebody other than the legal guardians for your child to support your child. The other thing you can do, if you are okay with it, is if you want to get started this week and that's not done and it was your spouse or it was somebody else, you can provide them your login information. But your login information, it's really only going to get them into the platform. But that is up to you, since that is your personal email, but that is one way you could do it.
Danielle, can we pause? Do you want to take questions now or at the end, Danielle?
I would prefer at the end if I could get through this.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Setting up your environment. So once you have registered, or even if you haven't registered, have your child practice logging into that system and become familiar with it. The same with the learning coach. You have 2 different roles as a learning coach and your student. So you both want to get in, and there's lots of great videos on the Fuel on the website, in the Engage, and I've been sending out those links, but this will help you become familiar of what you have to keep up with on a daily basis. The other important things, the teachers were talking today, really important to create a learning space for your child, whether it be a spot in their bedroom or a spot somewhere that you can monitor that looks like schooling for them. And then their materials, you'll be getting a large package from the Fuel, and some of you picked up your school supplies today from your schools. You'll want to organize your materials there too, so that the child has everything in one spot. If you have multiple children, and knowing that they might be listening to different things or doing different things, you might want to have them separated, but as you move through, you'll know what works for you. The parents have reached out and said, I'm not seeing phys ed for my child, or I'm not seeing art for my child. They all have to be loaded in manually. So as we sent names to register from Fuel, and then on our end, we manually register and enroll you in those classes. So they should be completely done by tomorrow. But there were some kickbacks, and the tech department was working today to try to make sure all classes were added. Our first official school day is Wednesday. Just like Dr. O'Donnell announced on Saturday that the remote students and the in-school students were pushed back a day, so is ours. We will follow the exact calendar of State College Area School District. So if State College Area School District is off a day, that is the same calendar day as you. The nice thing about Fuel is you could still log on and have your child do work. The system is still going to be available, but your teachers wouldn't be available that day, and you wouldn't have to log on that day if there were other things. Most important to remember is this platform is asynchronous, and what asynchronous means is there are no set times in the day that your child has to do the work. They can log on if it works best from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at night, and that works for you and your family. That's what asynchronous means. There's not daily lessons that they'll be logging on to. Again, you're going to be the learning coach for your child, and that is how the asynchronous model works. Will there be opportunities to log in with the teachers? Absolutely. But they are kind of optional. We'll be working with you, because asynchronous is really, you technically could do this all on your own as you're working along. We hope you take advantage of our teachers. They are very excited to be working with you, but I wanted to point that out. And Deirdre, you wanted to share, so if I mess this up, just pop in. But one of the things you should realize is this is a full year curriculum. So with the pacing, we are releasing 1 unit at a time. Now you'll be able to work ahead, but you'll only be able to work ahead according to the first unit. We want you to pace it so that if we know that the unit is to be done in October, that you're doing enough work that, you reach October and that new unit is ready to be pushed out. We will not be pushing units out if people finish early. We really want to keep the scope and sequence in pace. We also know that we've talked about the trimesters and what's going to happen with COVID, that there's opportunities to possibly change platforms in November and March. So it's real important that we keep that equal scope and sequence moving in all 3 school models that we have. Deirdre, anything to add on that?
You did beautifully.
Okay. Guys, you possibly, if you've been able to register, and I apologize again for those of you who have not been able to, you may be able to see the content tomorrow if you successfully enrolled. I would ask that you do not start anything. We really wanted to keep school students in the same grade with the same teacher. And we had to go back in Friday because our numbers increased and we had to change a few schools. So every teacher has 2 grades, you heard them say today, and in some of those grades, your teacher may change. So if you see a teacher in there today, it may not be your teacher tomorrow, but by Wednesday, we believe that all teachers will have the correct assigned students in the platform. So if you would not do anything until Wednesday, we would appreciate it. The other thing is we realize that you cannot do many of the activities that they ask you to do if you don't have your supplies. Be looking for a notification from UPS. That notification is legit. Fuel sends books to you. They send materials to you. It comes directly from them. And again, the weekly assignments are self-paced, but the courses are the full year. This year there will be social studies in K-4. There is no history. You might have seen it and now it's blacked out or grayed out. Social studies aligns better with our content, so we took away the history. However, in 5th grade there is history, but no social studies. But it's still, we really wanted to match the content with State College's curriculum. The other exciting news I have is we will be doing morning meetings with our teachers. I will be sending a survey soon. We have it up and ready to go. We would ask you that you take 2 minutes to complete it. What we would like to know is, do you think your child would be interested in logging on to a morning meeting with a State College teacher? Those morning meetings we do in school, they're about 15 minutes to 30 minutes max, and they're really a way to establish connections. They will be with peers of similar ages when we do them. And it's important to know how many so that we can plan accordingly for those meetings. But that would be the purpose. Our goal originally was to start those this week, but just like many other things that got backed out, we are going to wait till all students are in the system to begin those. So look for that information to come soon from your teachers. That is all I have. My guess is there are a lot of questions. So Ms. Grube and Ms. Bauer, if one of you, it does not matter who, would read them for me. And teachers, if it pertains to you, please feel free to pop in. I do have a teacher that had an opportunity to look at some of the curriculum and kind of compare it. So they may be able to share from their angle as a teacher a lot better than I can share as an administrator.
So Danielle, I've been trying to answer some of the questions in the chat box. So when do we find out who our teacher is handled a couple times. And if they don't know that, they could email you, but how else are they going to find out who their teacher is?
So I would ask that they don't email me,
Okay.
please. This is why, again, we had to make some changes. So Jen Scudder really believed that she could get it done by tonight. She was working today. She was tasked for elementary, middle, and high school. So there's been some people working, and we really believe as soon as those lists look good to go, if they look good tomorrow or Wednesday, our teachers will be sending an email introducing themselves.
Okay, so people can expect something by tomorrow?
I would say by Wednesday at the latest.
Wednesday.
We're hoping tomorrow, but and we just, because we don't know how many people have successfully registered and Fuel is still telling us there's an issue, we were holding on that.
So by Wednesday, we should hear that.
Yes.
The most commonly asked question is about the registration. We've not gotten a registration. We don't know the link. How do we know my teacher? How do I know my kid's email? So I don't know how to answer those questions in relation to Fuel.
So students email in grades 3 through 5, Peter, you may be able to help. The 4th and 5th graders should know their email accounts. Yep. Grades 3, it would be their user ID it's usually a 3, their initials and then a number.
Yep. So maybe Jen Grube could probably respond to that one. Jen, can you talk to them about the user ID and the email access? I think that's one question. And the other question is more to do with Fuel, with the registration and not getting the link. And I just think the answer to that question is that Fuel, it's an issue on Fuel's side, and they are getting that out as soon as possible.
I wish I could answer the question about how K3 can log into their students' email account.
K-2 cannot log into email because K-2 does not have email accounts in our school district. So emails need to go to, sorry, Jen, to interrupt. Emails will go to parents or the learning coaches for K-2 students. 3 to 5 will have their own email. So how does 3rd grade, do you know that, Jen, how 3rd grade gets?
I don't, and I would recommend that they maybe contact the help desk.
Okay, thank you, Jen.
Yeah, the help desk, which is, it's helpdesk@scasd.org.
I'm going to text the director right now to see if he can get that information right now.
Yeah. I know that some people, their accounts were showing up in their student emails rather than the learning coach's email. And that was a Fuel thing. So I think another question is that there aren't, so those of you that have been able to log in, you might not be seeing courses or know who your teacher is. You can log in, but you don't have any assignments. And that also has to do with the loading of the classes and the teachers, and it is forthcoming. And there were questions about back-ordered materials, and apparently some people are being told that the materials might not ship until September. So there's some concern about what that means. Danielle, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
I absolutely can. And just so you know, you're not alone. We have many school supplies and some materials for the in-school learners and remote. Shipping out from everywhere is just delayed. What we can assure you as parents is if your supplies are back ordered and you can't do some content, we will work as a teacher team. We will work with Ms. Bauer to make sure that we could possibly reduce the content until you get the materials, or we would extend and provide more time. You are not going to be in any situation where you're looking at a non-completion score or attendance issues because you don't have your materials. We will be asking you to keep your teacher up to date if you don't have them once you are successfully registered, so that we can monitor that and again work as a teacher team. Many people have received their supplies, but there are, from what we're understanding, a few people, and I'm thinking it's tied to grade levels, that they're telling you that the supplies may not arrive.
And if I may, Danielle, one of the things we found as we were looking at the content is that as learning coaches, you will have available to you in most instances PDFs that you can download and print or download and look at if the materials haven't made it to you yet.
Thank you, Linda. There's a question, I think, does Fuel have any behavior modification to help with motivation rewards? Aren't there some things online that tracks their growth towards their work? VA teachers, is there anything like that that kind of keeps track of that for students to give them feedback?
I teach in the in the third and fourth grade that I looked at. I did not see anything like that, but I will tell you that both you as a learning coach will know where they are as far as the assignments and what they've completed, as well as I will. And one of the things that I will be doing as the teacher is I will be looking at that and making sure that I make contact both with the child and the parent, which we call a learning coach, to make sure that they stay at an appropriate pacing for the material that needs to be covered.
Thanks, Linda. So this is for you, Jen.
I think, so, I was going to say, I think in second grade, if I remember, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to speak 100%, but there are stickers that they provide with you. So you can like give your child a sticker for completing their work for parts of it, but that was in second.
I thought there were some stickers in there. So Jen Grube, this is for you. What's the expected number of hours per day for a fifth grader?
6.
Fifth grader?
Yes, about 6 hours.
Oh, 6, sorry.
And it does break it down. Each lesson, learning coaches will tell you about how many minutes they should be spending doing each subject for each day. But the average is about 6.
And is it okay to have several people assigned as learning coaches, for example, 2 parents and 2 babysitters?
Yes, from what I understand, that'll go through Jen Scudder. So the parent one is a simple email to her that I am the father, can you add me, or I am the mother. If it's the babysitters, you're going to have to fill in that form, or it is up to you. You can provide them with your email, but we can provide multiple learning coaches per students.
Students do all of this work on their Chromebooks. Music instrument lessons for the virtual academy students.
I can answer that one. At least I've worked closely with our music teachers, and I believe that they're pretty consistent. The music and orchestra teachers are going to be working with the virtual academy. You should have received an email from them, and there was a Zoom last week. If you haven't, and you know, I would reach out if you haven't to your homeschool principal, because the virtual academy kids are going to be kept with their homeschool. So if you are give you an example, if you are Easterly Parkway and wanted to join orchestra and you're in 4th or 5th grade, Miss Van Allen who is still going to be your teacher, and she will be the one setting up those lessons and times with you.
Are there separate supplies we're supposed to be picking up at our schools that is different than being shipped to us? There are 2 sets of supplies. So Fuel is supplying you with the curriculum resources. We're supplying you at the building level with the what I call stationary basic school supplies, like notebooks and pencils and glue sticks, things like that. And so I know at Radio Park, some virtual parents did pick up today. And so I'll send another email to, at least at Radio Park, and all principals, when they're ready, will do the same. So you'll get the same school supplies. Let me go to the chat. Do you have any other, Jen Grube, you're in the chat too. I'm trying to think. There's lots about the login. We can't answer that tonight, unfortunately, because it's an issue on Fuel's end. The Fuel code, picking up materials, we took taking care of that.
I see one that I could respond to. Somebody asks, how do I do this? Is there an app? It's a website that you'll go to. And you can go to that website even without receiving login information. You can go to a website and create an account and look at some videos about like a day in a life. I think Mrs. Yoder sent out an email last week where there were a lot of different links where you could get your feet wet with the program without having your account yet. And insofar as accessing it, it's a web-based app. Like, it's not an app, it's a website.
And to add to that, the school message I sent tonight that had the Zoom link in it again, at the bottom, the same 3 resources that the teachers put together for you that are live links, they are in that school message tonight, and that's what Ms. Grube is talking about. So you could access them. That email should be kind of at the top of your list. You could go there and look at those that way.
So how many students are assigned to each VA teacher, and will Zoom meetings involve all students, or will they be separated by groups or grades?
So Each teacher has in between, I guess I should say between about 45 and 48 students. We've talked to the different people at Fuel, and that is within the average range. They actually different people shared the average range was normally 60, because again, the learning coach is in charge of a lot of the learning. These ladies, once we begin to work and we begin to see progress, they will be pulling in small groups to work, and they will probably, I would say, probably be grade specific, but not necessarily be grade specific. We'll be looking at needs. So if it's something that we're finding and we think a nice group fits, and the teacher that has both of those classes can do a small group, it may be something like that.
So will we be needing to use Clever much? It's mostly the Fuel platform. And then their email for third grade. So that whoever's the virtual teachers who are teaching third grade are going to need to teach the kids who are third graders how to access and use their third grade, their email account. Fourth and fifth grade should be good to go. I just received a text from Justin Hetrick, who said that the third grade teachers will have to teach the email lessons. So the teachers all have access to those digital citizenship lessons, so they can teach them how to use their email. I'd say most.
Also
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Deirdre. On a side note too, there's email incorporated right into the system.
Yes.
And so then we can communicate with the students, even if they don't have email in K and 1 and 2, so that we can email the students directly that way too. So if we need to send out a Zoom link or whatever, we can email them directly as well. And then you would be copied as a learning coach on all emails, so you wouldn't have to worry about checking your child's account. It would come in there as well. So you would see it when you log into the K-12 platform.
Will there be opportunities for one-on-one meetings with teachers every once in a while?
Yeah. Yes.
I think we all expect that we will do that, and we would be glad to meet with people if they have a question, or maybe they are concerned about something, any of that things. That would be simply a contact us, and we'll try to set something up that works.
Will there still be SCAS resources for children who received extra reading help through Title I?
Yes. So you are going to find we are working on that. But if your child has an IEP, whether it be an IEP or a GIEP, or has received Title I services, it is my understanding that you are going to have your teachers from your home school. So they will be reaching out. We do not have them connected yet, but I told these ladies today, those teachers will actually have access to to your child's information too, so that they can be reviewing it and then working with you. So you should be hearing from your home school in those instances.
How will students interact with teachers?
So there will be small group meetings. There will be morning meetings once we have the classrooms up and established. Ms. Andrews was being nice. One of the things that I have told them is, just like in the school day, they will have hours as well though. So they will be setting hours and will most likely not be answering email from like 3:15 until the next day. So I've asked them to put that on their email if they can, or just as a reminder. They will be working their hours during a typical school day, but can work with parents that reach out if that time does not work, and schedule something for them that works for them.
Will the teacher email go to the parent email or the child's email? I think the teachers are emailing the parents, not the students. Is that right?
We can do either or both.
Or both for the older grades.
Any email that we send to a student will automatically also go to the parent or the learning coach, but we also can contact the learning coach independently.
I should also say that we had talked about if you email us, given the number of children that are on our caseloads, that it might take 24 hours before we can get back to you. So give us, a day and a half to get back to, especially if you do it on a Friday and we're looking at Monday.
How many subjects should be on our child's schedule?
It varies from grade to grade. And the ladies know this a little bit better, but the reading is broken down a little bit more in K and 1 and possibly 2. You will have some special subjects, and of course the math, the science, and the social studies, but language arts is the one that looks different. And if one of you can pipe in, I know we've talked about that. I'm just not sure of the exact difference.
Fifth has 7 subjects. That includes art, PE, music, science, history, ELA, and math.
Yeah, that's the same for third and fourth. I will say in third and fourth, what maybe is a bridge that you need to know is that within ELA, it could be writing, it will be reading, there will be some word study, there will be some spelling, there will be all those components of English or language arts that we have taught in the regular.
Second grade has 9, but when Mrs. Andrews was just saying ELA is for all together, in second grade and K and 1, they're all separate. So you'll see that there will be like a for second grade, there's a spelling, a writing, and a reading course. Whereas my third graders, they are just all titled ELA.
And first grade mimics that as well as kindergarten, except instead of spelling in kindergarten and first grade, we have phonics.
So you do not need to use a SCAS Chromebook. You can use your own PC. That's not a problem. How much time should be allotted each day for coursework in kindergarten?
So far, from what I can see, I would expect the first week, maybe you're on the computer with your child an hour a day, and you will probably be working with them in the separate materials for an hour and a half. The majority will be reading to them, talking to them about books, working with letter sounds, very, very normal things that you would do with your child anyway. But I'm thinking the first week or two, you're spending an hour online almost every day, maybe an hour and a half offline.
Thank you, Becky. Is there a math evaluation of some sort through Fuel? I'm not aware of a math evaluation, so the teachers will continue to monitor students' progress as they check in with the work that they're completing. Lots of questions about the registration process. Again, we're working with Fuel. The issue is on their end. Supplies, okay. How is attendance, sick days, holidays, school closures handles? Do we get the same days off as the school districts? I think Ms. Yoder talked about we follow the State College Area School District calendar. Who do we contact if a child is not feeling well?
So as long as you're keeping up with your children's work, you won't really have specific set days like a normal attendance that you have 72 hours to turn in an excuse. However, if your child is sick on a Monday and you want to email your child's teacher just to let them know she's sick, she's not logging on, we can continue to track that. We look at attendance again on a weekly basis, and we can reach out to you, but you can also put it in an email to us as excused absences if it's going to be several days that your child is sick.
Do Park Forest pick up their virtual materials? I will follow up with the principal there. Yes, everybody gets virtual materials from a virtual school at their school, so I'll follow up with Jonathan there. Oh, okay, Thursday evening, got an email, PFE can pick up Thursday evening. There we go. Let's see. Who do we contact about both parents being learning coaches?
That is that, and unfortunately, I will fix that link and I will send that slideshow out to you. It's Jen Scudder if it's a parent, and it's a simple email that you need the other person on it, and then she will add that in.
Please walk us through the steps for getting started on Wednesday. Where do we begin?
So since it's an asynchronous program, again, if you have registered as a learning coach and your child has registered, when the child logs on, you're going to be able to see the course content. And you're going to build that schedule for them. So they may want to start the day with art, and you can log into art. You will see that there's not as much content to cover in a week in your special subjects as there are as reading and math. Definitely, just like in school, I would make reading or ELA, English Language Arts, and math the priority. But that is how you will work. If you want to start the day at 10 a.m. with the Virtual Academy, you will be able to do that. Again, in the near future, we will start morning meetings that will be optional. And that would be a daily check-in that the kids can make connections. It's really for the children and not for the parents. It's just like when they have their morning meetings in school to build community. They will be offered soon too.
For kindergarten, it was said that the ratio is 70 off, 30% online. Is that 70% going to be learning that needs to be heavily guided? Should we be planning to spend that 70% of the offline learning having to our child using curriculum, or the things designed to be decently independent?
So the curriculum, you're going to follow the curriculum of the Fuel platform. They are going to step you through it and share with you the pacing that you should be doing with your child. So it will really be working with what they say and their content to move your child forward.
Will there be any type of assessment given to determine reading or math levels?
There are fluency assessments built into the program. If your child has received services, again, through special education, and my understanding is Title I, you will receive those outside of the Fuel platform. So that is something that will be worked out, not from these teachers, but from the teachers at your home school that will be reaching out to you to do those. Otherwise, it's formative assessments within the Fuel platform that you, your child will complete. One of the teachers, if one of you wants to talk about how the parent might have to submit the information, I thought that was very interesting today, and I forget who was talking about that.
Sure. So I was digging into the kindergarten curriculum. So for kindergarten parents, at least, you'll be doing phonics lessons every day. Let's just say you're a traditional family that works Monday through Friday. So Monday through Thursday, you'll be doing the lessons. On Friday, there's some sort of assessment that you're giving your child, and then you're inputting that information right into the portal. So we're trusting you that you're giving us honest feedback, and that way we can help your child if they need a little more help, or we'll move them along if they're ready to go.
Okay, so will you be able to access books from your library? We're teaching all students to be able to make online requests using our State College Area School District library, and then you'd need to come to the school to pick them up, much like SCLO is working through. Will VA students have access to Clever and Epic? Yes. If you can't get in, you should email the IT help desk, the email address that Jen said. Jen, can you say that email address again?
Jen dropped it.
It's helpdesk at scasd.org. And Deirdre, if I could just stop you for a second, we had set this for 6 to 6:45. If we have answered your questions, you do not need to stay on any longer. And then we do have time for maybe 5 more minutes of questions if you could prioritize. And then we would just ask for people who have further questions to, they can put those in an email if they haven't been answered. But again, if the biggest thing is the registration, we are on hold for that through Fuel.
Will we get a class list?
I'm not on, students?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like we do, and like we send class lists out.
We do through permission through the PTO. So that is something that we might have to look at. Are you interested in a registry? And maybe have a parent take that on, since otherwise you're still connected to your home school. But I do like that. It's just not something that we can just feed you the information due to privacy.
We could list the names of students, because we send out a class list of who's in each class. So I'm trying to set up the K-12, but it's asking me to choose between Insight PA Cyber Charter or Agora. This isn't a charter school, so we need to really get that clarified about how to sign up. It's not through either of those channels.
There's a good question that Dr. Cessna brought up, which is it's showing up as K-12 and not Fuel. It is called K-12.
K-12.
The email is going to come from registration at, I think it's registration at K-12.
K-12, exactly.
And
Good
I
job
just put,
with that.
I put in the chat too a link that has the engage, and that will tell you here's how to log on to the online school. So if you take a look at that, that also has how to practice getting your child on. So that'll also help for what do I do on the first day. So that's in the chat.
Do we have to complete the Fuel education specials? Yes, that's part of the Fuel curriculum. Practice logging on what to do. Anybody else teachers see another question in the chat box that really we should answer? Oh, I like Laura's response to how we group the students. We really tried to base it on their home school so that they could be clustered together so they could still have connections to the kids in their home school.
So we really did do that, by the way. So
Yeah.
first graders
did.
from one school will be together.
But you might not have your homeschools teacher, just as a warning on that one. So just because if you're at Park Forest, for example, you're not guaranteed to have Mrs. Brigman.
Is there any way for SCAS MAP testing remotely? We haven't even decided to use the MAP test this year. We're just monitoring the situation. But we do have a way to do it through a lockdown browser to be able to offer MAP, but we're not sure that that's something we're going to do. Any other main questions, teachers, you can see in the chat that you'd like to address?
Is IXL going to be monitored by teachers? No, I don't, at least unless Mrs. Bauer, you want to correct me on that, but we would not be monitoring IXL.
Correct, because the teachers, the VA teachers are monitoring so much and so many courses with upwards of 40 or 50 students that they can't also monitor RAS Kids or IXL or some other resource, because the main curriculum for this program is K-12 Fuel. Anything else, teachers, you can see in the chat box? I'm Danielle, I can make we have the remote website for the Google site for families. I can add a page for the Virtual Academy and put the slides on it. And then we can use
Absolutely.
that to
Certainly,
upload
and
that.
I would just send that link. That is great.
I'll take care of that.
I will.
Mrs. Bauer, would you be willing to add the emails that have also been sent out for parents as well so that they have those to reference? Is that possible?
If somebody sends them to me, because I have about a zillion emails and there's no
I'd
way.
be happy to share them with you.
Laura, I'm just going to give you editing rights to the page and then you can just put them
Got
right
it.
up there.
I will work on it tonight.
If that is everything, we really appreciate your patience. Just because of timing and unfortunate, and again, some of the stuff is out of our control, but we are working hard to get everybody set up and registered and doing daily check-ins with Jen Scudder and the Fuel platform to see. I will download this recording tonight and most likely send it tomorrow. A lot of times it takes a little bit of time to download, and we will have this available to you too. But otherwise, be looking for information from your teachers in the next few days once we finalize those class lists. And good luck as you start this new adventure.
Thanks for partnering with us. We're looking forward to learning as much as you are. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great job.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out the meeting. Thank you all so much, teachers. I will talk to you soon and continue to share updates as I get them. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.